Facing the #1 sword dog of the mysterious heaven continent, the newly freed Tribulation crossing realm expert starts to doubt his life choices. At this moment, Seoin is also preparing to leave with Yifeng. However, he's puzzled to see Yifeng throwing a spirit stone. Why throw a spirit stone? He asks. Yifeng explains, it's to select the #1 for the secret realm competition. Whoever picks up this spirit stone will be the winner. Seoin thinks it over. After all the resources Sunlit Sect sent into the secret realm are in my hands. Sunlit Sect is probably going to be overwhelmed. The entire secret realm has only one medium-grade spirit stone. It's quite amusing to think about. Soon, Yifeng and his group exit the secret realm. Seeing the sunset, Seoin feels a sense of relief, finally back. Suddenly, he notices some movement behind him. The next second, he sees Little Blood wielding a heavenly tear furnace cauldron. Thinking Yifeng was kidnapped by Seoin also mistakes Little Blood for an enemy, leading to a clever misunderstanding. Yifeng is awakened by their noise and quickly shouts to stop them. Stop, we're all on the same side. Both Seoin and Little Blood are stunned. What's happening? Then Yifeng introduces them. Little Blood is my battle pet and the sect's guardian great demon, while Seoin is the new elder. Little Blood awkwardly smiles. So, you're Elder Xiao. My apologies for the misunderstanding. Seoin is surprised by the furnace cauldron in Little Blood's hand, who explains, this is a heavenly tear furnace cauldron, one for each elder in the sect. It's very handy in a fight. Seoin is bewildered. Heavenly tear furnace cauldrons are so cheap now, I should have sold mine before getting trapped. Little Blood clarifies, it's not like that. Elder Xiao, you seem to not know much about our master. You'll understand once you're more familiar. Yifeng also reminds Seoin, the prices in mysterious heaven continent haven't collapsed. I'm just an exception. Yifeng then wonders about Seoin's resilience, pondering how he'll react upon returning to the sect and seeing the continent's #1 sword dog. Yifeng asks Little Blood, did you come with the senior brothers? Contact them and just go through the motions in the secret realm contest. There's nothing left inside. After it's over, return to the sect as soon as possible. Little Blood acknowledges the plan, and a few hours later, Yifeng and Seoin head back to the Star Soul sect first. Seeing the cobweb-covered gate, Seoin is at a loss for words. Suddenly, he senses an extraordinary sword Heart Realm's underworld sword intent and wonders in amazement, does our sect really have such an exceptional sword cultivator? Yifeng smiles slightly. Let's go inside and you'll see. But really, why is that dog releasing sword intent instead of sleeping? Upon entering, they see the sword dog practicing martial arts, leaving Seoin questioning, I was only sealed for 200 years. How has the world changed so much? Old Bai then appears. Yifeng, you're finally back. Yifeng asks, Old Bai, did the dog finish the marrow cleansing elixir? Old Bai replies, all gone. And who's this gentleman? Old Bai thinks to himself, who's this ragged beggar? Probably another one clinging to Yifeng's coattails. Realizing he has another competitor, Old Bai feels pressured. Meanwhile, Seoin senses the strength of the Star Soul sect members. There are 3 in the Tribulation crossing realm and 2 in the original spirit realm. Seoin glances at the dilapidated gate. Is this the standard for sects now? Are Tribulation crossing realm cultivators so common? Feeling somewhat disheartened, Seoin's shock escalates when Chu Hongshan returns with the Thousand Souls Bloodlust banner given by Yifeng. That's a demonic immortal weapon. This commotion draws everyone's attention. Luo Qinshua curiously asks Chu Hongshan, how did you get a demonic immortal weapon? Yifeng, admiring his master's beauty, introduces Seoin. Master, this is Elder Seoin, looking to join Star Soul sect. He's a soul cultivator powerful enough to ascend at any moment. The crowd is amazed. A soul cultivator ready to ascend? Old Bai is dismayed. He's even stronger than the great ancestral elder. I'm outmatched again. Seoin is surprised by their reaction. Seems my strength is quite rare. To secure Seoin's allegiance, Yifeng spends 83,000 wasteful points to open some jars, revealing 100 golden soul holy spirit trees. He then sends Old Xia to show Seoin around the sect and calls Chu Hongshan and Luo Kai for some extravagant plans. Luo Qinshua, watching this, comments dryly, why are you commanding the elder? Yifeng chuckles, it's all the same. After all, we're going to be husband and wife. Luo Qinshua, ignoring him, thinks, play however you want. The Star Soul sect is already beyond salvation. Later, Yifeng goes to the elder's residence area, instructing Luo Kai to demolish a particular courtyard. Luo Kai, puzzled, responds, it's not hard to demolish, but why tear down a perfectly good building? Yifeng explains, it's to build a new one for Elder Xiao. I've prepared the wood, so please get to work. Luo Kai, exasperated, mutters, what kind of fickle behavior is this? We're being overshadowed again. Does Yifeng have a thing for collecting old men? Luo Kai and Chu Hongshan, jealous of Elder Xiao, start working grudgingly. Yifeng, realizing something, asks the system, shouldn't I give them some compensation for their hard work? The system agrees and awards each elder 10 drops of great demon blood with the choice of the demon. Luo Kai, excited for the great demon blood, gets to work. Yifeng then brings out the golden soul holy spirit trees, all aged around 9,000 years. Luo Kai, unfamiliar with these, asks, are these for building Elder Xiao's pure wooden courtyard? Yifeng confirms and reminds them to use all the holy spirit trees trees before he leaves. Luo Kai and Chu Hongshan confidently promise to finish by evening. After Yifeng left, Luo Kai asked Chu Hongshan, how should we handle this? After all, one courtyard can't use so many woods, right? Chu Hongshan felt, this is a test Yifeng has given us. After all, the great demon blood isn't so easy to obtain, right? Meanwhile, old Xia shows Xiaochen around the sect and reveals that Luo Qianxue is the daughter of the Star Extreme Sect's leader. Xiaochen is surprised, recognizing Star Extreme Sect's reputation. He recalls Yifeng's earlier mention of a small sect and thinks, this is a small sect? It's practically a branch of a top-tier holy land, almost rivaling Star Extreme Sect in strength. Xiaochen then notices old Xia consuming and vomiting pills, asking, old Xia, why keep eating those pills if they're making you sick? Old Xia responds, Elder Xiao, are you familiar with the impurity-free spirit body? Xiaochen, acknowledging he's heard of it but didn't pay much attention as a soul cultivator, it doesn't matter. You'll soon start taking these pills too. You can probably smell it. It tastes even worse than shit. This remark frightened Xiaochen as they pass by a latrine made from a heavenly tier furnace cauldron. Confused, he asks, why is there a latrine here? Cultivators don't need such things. Upon closer inspection, Xiaochen is shocked. Wait, this is a heavenly tier furnace cauldron. Could this be Yifeng's courtyard? Old Xia confirms, you guessed right, it's Yifeng's. And here's a little insider news. Yifeng plans to use golden silkworm star shining stones to build a latrine house. If he succeeds, anyone using it could easily transcend tribulation. Xiaochen is overwhelmed by this information. Using a heavenly tier furnace cauldron as a latrine is one thing. Building a latrine house with golden silkworm star shining stones? There should be a limit to extravagance. I endured 18 thunder tribulations during my ascension. Why do you all have it so easy? I'm so frustrated. Old Xia tries to calm him. Elder Xiao, take this enlightenment pill to ease your shock. Consider it a welcome gift from me, exchanged with sect points. Xiaochen, initially thinking it's a joke, is astounded to find himself entering a state of enlightenment upon consuming the pill. This pill is incredible. Old Xia explains, this enlightenment pill is also from Yifeng. He even used them to awaken intelligence in his dog. Xiaochen, puzzled, asks, why don't you all control Yifeng's extravagant spending? Old Xia smiles mysteriously. Are you sure you want to intervene, Elder Xiao? You know why you're here. Didn't Yifeng give you something in return? Realizing he can't argue since he indeed came for the soul ball, Xiaochen concedes. Old Xia chuckles. Don't be so formal. We all join this way. Yifeng won't let us down. They then arrive at the elder residence area, where Luo Kai and others are busy constructing the courtyard. Xiaochen, seeing the shimmering wood, asks, what's that shiny wood? Old Xia, unfamiliar with it, can't answer. Then Xiaochen recognizes the trees. Aren't those golden soul holy spirit trees? Xiaochen panics, urging Luo Kai and the others to stop, but they ignore him, following Yifeng's orders and working even faster upon seeing his rush. Xiaochen is distraught. This is a very rare golden soul holy spirit tree. You will be condemned by the heavens for such wastefulness, but this is for building your courtyard. If anyone should be worried about divine retribution, it's you. Xiaochen was momentarily speechless, but then, regaining his composure, he snatched Luo Kai's axe. Since it's for my construction, let me do it. I love carpentry the most, Luo Kai asked. Aren't you afraid of divine retribution? Xiaochen turned around with a mysterious smile. Anyway, having been struck by heavenly lightning so many times, I've gotten used to it. Hours later, with the efforts of several elders, a brand new, dazzling golden soul holy spirit treehouse was completed. The other elders in the sect were extremely envious. Is this the treatment of a soon-to-be ascended master? I'm so jealous. It feels like we're living in slums compared to them. Luo Kai suddenly had an epiphany. I understand now, he said, looking at Old Bai and Chu Hongshan. I know why Elder Xiao gets special treatment. We've been lax in our cultivation. Elder Chu, your power is clearly above me, Old Bai and Old Xia, but your treatment isn't as good. Is it because you're not at the top? So I think this is a hint from Yifeng for us to cultivate harder. However, Xiaochen knew the truth. Yifeng is just being extravagantly wasteful. Meanwhile, at Yifeng's residence, he woke up to the news of the Holy Spirit tree's completion. With no wasteful actions, there were no rewards, which Yifeng found unacceptable. How can there be no wasteful actions? Sly system, are you swallowing my rewards? It turned out that Xiaochen's acceptance and personal involvement in the construction led to the judgment of non-wastefulness. Yifeng didn't expect Elder Xiao to be so open-minded. He thought Xiaochen wouldn't be able to accept it. After all, Xiaochen even played around with his own soul ball. Yifeng realized he had miscalculated. Elder Xiao was unpredictable. That night, two uninvited guests, the great ancestral elder and his friend Old Bai, arrived outside the walls of the Star Soul sect. They sneaked in, deciding not to disturb anyone yet. Chu Hongshan, hiding in the shadows, saw everything clearly and mistook them for enemies. The great ancestral elder gathered information about the Star Soul sect, identifying Yifeng's residence and the location of Bai Tianhong and others. Chu Hongshan recognized them as the familiar faces of Luo Qianxing and Bai Gang. Suddenly, the great ancestral elder and his friend arrived outside Xiaochen's house, spotting the shining golden soul holy spirit treehouse. The two were astounded, their features blurring with surprise. Great ancestral elder exclaimed, mind. This courtyard is just too damn luxurious. Bai Gang was particularly frustrated. Is that all you care about? Look at the material. This is the Golden Soul Holy Spirit Tree, a treasure for soul cultivators. You know, I worked for 30 years in Heavenly Dao City and earned 3 million top-grade spirit stones, and I couldn't even afford this fence. The great ancestral elder was also startled. Is this thing really so precious? Bai Gang suddenly asked, does the Star Soul sect need a chef? I follow the culinary path and seek a stage to showcase my cooking skills. You understand what I mean, right? The great ancestral elder gave him a disdainful look. So you just want to stick around, huh? I've been asking you to cook for me for years, and you always refuse, claiming I'm not worthy of your culinary creations. Their argument was interrupted by the appearance of Elder Xiao. Both of you, there are many rooms in my villa. If you don't mind, you can stay here for now. The two fighters were startled. There's actually someone there? Neither of us noticed his presence. Xiaochen wondered, is the great ancestral elder, with his shabby appearance, also someone like me, sealed for hundreds of years? The great ancestral elder hadn't expected that someone stronger than him would join the Star Soul sect. It's good I came, otherwise, the sect might have been full, he thought. Bai Gang was even more surprised. Such a powerful figure has come to the Star Soul sect to be a beggar? Chu Hongshan emerged, teasing the two old men for sneaking around in their own sect. He then introduced Elder Zhao's background to them. He's a newly joined elder, a soul cultivator who could ascend at any moment. The great ancestral elder felt deflated. What is Luo Qinxue thinking? The Star Soul sect was established only a few months ago and is about to surpass the Star Extreme sect. If things keep going this way, she might just become the empress who unifies the mysterious heaven continent, right? Bai Gang decisively decided to stay at the Star Soul sect. Even if the heavenly emperor himself comes, he won't take me away. I'm claiming the position of the #1 chef here. Then, turning to Chu Hongshan, the great ancestral elder asked, and what brings you here, old man? Chu Hongshan awkwardly smiled. The sect needed someone to forge pots and pans, so here I am. The great ancestral elder was speechless. What about your path of the artificer? Weren't you going to forge heavenly tier equipment and become the #1 artificer of the mysterious heaven continent? Chu Hongshan had clearly lost interest in such ambitions. Ever since I met Yifeng, I've had an epiphany. Now, I just go with the flow, very zen-like. The great ancestral elder, not buying it, pressed him. What did Yifeng give you? Chu Hongshan replied, not much, just 10,000 shards of the artificer's path. Now I can even forge low-grade artifact spirits. Bai Gang, envious, hadn't expected such a generous benefit. Old Chu, when I join the Star Soul sect, remember to take good care of me. Chu Hongshan, surprised, asked, you're going to be an elder too? Bai Gang felt being a chef was good enough for him. Xiaochen was baffled by these three. What happened to being a low-profile sect? This sect is getting more flamboyant by the day. I just hope Celestial Heights doesn't notice me, he mused, still somewhat worried about the Golden Will Emperor. A new day dawned, and Luo Qinxue was entertaining the great ancestral elder. She was surprised that he and his friend had arrived secretly the night before without notifying her for proper reception. The great ancestral elder, indifferent to formalities, proposed, how about I resign as the great ancestral elder and join your Star Soul sect as an elder? Luo Qinxue immediately refused. You're a pillar of the Star Extreme sect. What would happen to the other ancestral elders if you left? He couldn't argue with that logic. Luo Qinxue knew that the great ancestral elder must have come for Yifeng. If she agreed to switch allegiance to the Star Soul sect, then surely the other ancestral elders would follow. Eventually, even her father, the sect master of Star Extreme sect, would return. Wouldn't that mean she would end up succeeding the Star Extreme sect? What kind of situation was this? Suddenly, Luo Qinxue asked, didn't you say you came with a friend? Where is he? Meanwhile, at Yifeng's place, Old Bai is already showcasing his culinary skills, cooking for Yifeng. The taste has won Yifeng's heart. Old Bai explained, this dish is made from the meat of the mighty demon ape, cooked with a variety of spiritual grasses. The heat, quantity, and timing are all crucial. Yifeng was thoroughly enjoying the meal. Old Bai, having you at the Star Soul sect is fantastic. As if on cue, today's extravagant purchase by Yifeng was a set of 7 series Dragon Chant swords, which seemed more like kitchen utensils. Indeed, they were described as specialized cooking knives. The set included 7 different types of kitchen knives, each imbued with a dragon-type artifact spirit, designed to maximize the preservation of ingredients. However, this extravagant purchase seemed like it might drive away Old Bai, the culinary expert, which Yifeng didn't want since he enjoyed Old Bai's cooking. Suddenly, Yifeng had an idea. He could give the knife set to his disciple Wu Feng, who had always been responsible for his meals. He asked Old Bai, would you be interested in taking a disciple? Old Bai was surprised. Does the Star Soul sect have anyone pursuing the culinary path? Yifeng clarified that Wu Feng was not a culinary cultivator, but a 3-rank alchemist, specializing in the pill path. Although it was a bit of a mismatch, since an alchemist understands spiritual grass, Old Bai was willing to consider it. Why did Yifeng want him to take a disciple, though? As they were discussing, Wu Feng arrived from the Sunlit sect. Yifeng quickly introduced Old Bai to him, explaining, Wu Feng, you've been taking care of my meals for a long time. This is Old Bai, the new chef of our sect. Wu Feng, assuming he would no longer need to cook and could return to alchemy, was excited. However, his excitement turned to confusion when Yifeng suggested he become Old Bai's disciple and switch to the Culinary Path. Wu Feng was baffled. You want me, an alchemist, to switch to the Culinary Path? Yifeng handed him the extravagant set of knives, saying that a culinary cultivator must have a proper set of tools. Wu Feng was astonished by the power of the 7 knives. As he held them, 7 dragon spirits ascended, causing a commotion throughout the Star Soul sect. The sect was again enveloped in thunderous activity, reminiscent of previous events involving dragon soul artifact spirits. Luo Qianxue, somewhat resigned, wondered what Yifeng was up to now. Meanwhile, the rest of the Star Soul sect was startled. Why is there a thunder tribulation every day? Xiaochen knew this sect was unpredictable. It was only his 2nd day, and already there was a heavenly Dao thunder tribulation. Back at Yifeng's place, having given away the extravagant purchase, he completed his task of wastefulness and received 100 culinary enlightenment fragments as a reward. It seemed the dragon spirits had already accepted Wu Feng as their master. Wu Feng stood bewildered, though surprised and grateful for the powerful artifact spirit-imbued kitchen tools from Yifeng. He was now faced with the impending challenge of the heavenly Dao thunder tribulation. Old Bai was overwhelmed with emotion. Forget about the heavenly Dao thunder tribulation. If I could have such a set of knives, even being struck by lightning today would be worth it. Yifeng, with a dismissive smile, regarded the heavenly Dao thunder tribulation as trivial. As the sect members braced for the impact of the impending tribulation, it was suddenly cleaved away by a single sword strike. Chu Hongshan recognized the familiar figure in the sky. It was the one-armed man, a member of the Divine Tycoon's guard, who had previously overpowered him. The one-armed man provocatively challenged the heavenly Dao tribulation cloud, which, intimidated by his powerful aura, retreated without unleashing the thunder tribulation. After resolving the situation, the one-armed man left. Luo Qianxue was astounded, wondering how such a formidable being could exist in the lower realm, and knowing that even in her previous life in the boundless sanctuary of Celestial Heights, they couldn't dare provoke such a figure. Yifeng arrived with Wu Feng, concernedly asking Luo Qianxue, Master, were you frightened? When Luo Qianxue inquired about the dragon soul artifact spirits, Wu Feng explained, these are from the 7 kitchen knives that Big Brother gave me. He thinks I'm not suited for alchemy, so I've now become Old Bai's disciple and switched to the Culinary Path. Luo Qianxue, resigned, said, if that's what you truly want, I respect your choice, but are you sure you have a talent for culinary cultivation? Wu Feng confidently replied, Sect Master, it's not about talent. Big Brother said with enough culinary enlightenment fragments, I can be unbeatable. Yifeng had already given Wu Feng 100 fragments before their arrival, enabling him to cook 4 ranked dishes. Old Bai, witnessing this, was astonished at how someone without inherent talent could instantly cook such high-quality food. In his eyes, Yifeng became a godlike figure, determined to serve him with the utmost dedication. Meanwhile, Luo Qianxue turned to Old Bai, Senior, when did you join our sect? Yifeng, puzzled, asked Old Bai, weren't you recruited by my master? Bai Gang, feeling guilty and unsure how to explain, had actually just assumed he'd join the sect without Luo Qianxue's official approval. Confronted with Luo Qianxue's question, Old Bai was trembling, unsure of how to explain his presence. Yifeng clarified, this really isn't my doing. I always thought Old Bai was recruited by the master. Seeing this, Luo Qianxue asked everyone to leave, keeping only Yifeng behind. The great ancestral elder, feeling frustrated, exclaimed, I've just arrived, and now I have to leave? Old Bai swiftly pulled him away, leaving Yifeng and Luo Qianxue alone in the hall. Luo Qianxue, in a calm tone, addressed Yifeng, I know you have many secrets, and many things you've brought out don't belong to mysterious heaven continent. So, I have 2 questions for you. First, does the one-armed swordsman have anything to do with you? Yifeng nodded, acknowledging a connection. Luo Qianxue's second question followed, do you have any ulterior motives in getting close to me? Yifeng, with a puppy dog grin, admitted, yes, I do. She demanded he be clear about his intentions. Yifeng took the opportunity to confess, because I like you. I want to marry you and grow old together with you. Luo Qianxue, both embarrassed and angry, ordered him to leave. The system also chimed in to tease Yifeng, is that what you call liking someone? You're just lusting after her body, wanting to bathe and sleep with a beautiful master. You're despicable. Yifeng, speechless, retorted, what do you know? You sly system. Sweet nothings are meant to be flattering. Yifeng suggested, let's have Old Bai prepare some dishes, and we can talk over a meal. After notifying Old Bai to cook, they sat down to a table full of delicious food. Yifeng asked Luo Qianxue, Master, don't you want to know who I really am? Although curious about his origins, Luo Qianxue knew some things were better left unknown, as too much knowledge could be dangerous. Seeing that she didn't want to inquire further, Yifeng revealed a secret of hers. Master, do you know about the boundless sanctuary? Luo Qianxue, both excited and astonished at the mention of this sacred place, slammed the table, wondering how Yifeng could possibly know about it. Could Yifeng know that she is the reincarnation of the boundless sanctuary's holy maiden? Yifeng, however, did not elaborate further. He just wanted his master to know that he would not harm her. It so happened that he had 2 heavenly Dao tokens in his hand, so he invited Luo Qianxue to Heavenly Dao City for a visit. Seeing this, Luo Qianxue sighed and thought, since Yifeng said so, he definitely definitely won't be hostile towards me. Otherwise, with his capabilities, I wouldn't have survived until now. She didn't ponder further. Confused by the mention of the Heavenly Dao token, Luo Qianxue asked, "We are not in the Heavenly Dao battlefield. Are you sure we can enter from the outside world?" Yifeng took out 2 tokens and said, "I'm not sure either. Let's just try." They each activated a token, and the familiar smoke appeared. Yifeng arrived at Heavenly Dao City again and exclaimed, "Master, I didn't expect it to actually work." However, Luo Qianxue was nowhere to be seen. Yifeng was surprised. Why is the master missing? At that moment, the same taxi driver Yifeng had encountered on his first visit to Heavenly Dao City appeared again. He was about to solicit customers when he recognized Yifeng. Thinking it would be the same as last time, that Yifeng had no money for the ride, the driver was unaware that Yifeng already had a Heavenly Dao card. Seeing the card's emblem, the driver was shocked by the amount of Heavenly Dao points. Yifeng told him to drive anywhere and deduct the cost as needed because he was looking for someone. However, the driver said, "The Heavenly Dao token only allows a half-day stay. Even if I floor the accelerator, we can't cover the entire city." Surprised by the city's size, Yifeng abandoned the idea of searching by car and decided to use the peering into the Heavenly Secrets feature. Meanwhile, Luo Qianxue was staring at a shop that had products made from the Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree, but only branches were available. A small piece of branch cost 50,000 Heavenly Dao points, equivalent to 50,000 top-grade spirit stones. As she looked more, Luo Qianxue grew increasingly frustrated. A piece of golden silkworm star shining stone was priced at 100,000 Heavenly Dao points, and a sword heart advancement fragment at 5 million. A Heavenly Tear furnace cauldron even cost 20 million Heavenly Dao points. Luo Qianxue was dismayed, understanding why so many powerful beings were willing to work there. She also wanted to buy something. Just then, Yifeng finally found Luo Qianxue. She had an idea. She couldn't afford it, but Yifeng could. She hesitantly asked him, "You mentioned last time that you recharged a lot in this Heavenly Dao City. How many Heavenly Dao points did you add?" Panting, Yifeng replied, "Not much, just about 100 million. Luo Qianxue was astounded. 100 million? Yifeng reminded her, "We don't have much time left with the Heavenly Dao token. We should start buying, especially the golden silkworm star shining stone. I've got plans for my cottage." They then headed to the CBD of Heavenly Dao City. Luo Qianxue, feeling exhilarated, bought out all the spiritual grass in a store. The employee there, Li Fei, a familiar face, was impressed by her lavish spending, which reminded him of Yifeng's affluent demeanor. Li Fei uncertainly asked Luo Qianxue, "Miss, are you sure? If you want everything, I'll go and ask the manager." When Yifeng heard Li Fei's voice, he recognized him and was excited. "Brother Yi, what are you doing here?" Yifeng, pressing his face close to Li Fei's, asked, "Li Fei, you've got a Heavenly Dao token too?" Li Fei looked distressed and explained, "Brother Yi, you don't know. Since I returned to the sect, the great ancestral elder discovered my death sword intent. He chose a heavy greatsword for me and asked me to perform a blood recognition ritual with it. To my surprise, it contained a Heavenly Dao token. To avoid being forced to learn swordsmanship, I used the token to come here and work." Yifeng chuckled, understanding Li Fei's situation, and revealed a sword heart advancement fragment. "I know you don't like sword training, so let's just help you break through to the sword heart realm." Li Fei was overwhelmed. No, I thought I escaped the great ancestral elder only to fall into Brother Ye's hands." Yifeng reassured him that he would also save some advanced sword realm treasures for him. Thus, Li Fei was forcibly fed with advancement fragments. Luo Qianxue trembled as she witnessed this, thinking, "This is too cruel." Yifeng then tormented Li Fei further, feeding him more advancement fragments. Li Fei resigned to his fate. "Anyway, I'll just stay in Heavenly Dao City and not go back." At that moment, the store manager appeared. Yifeng had an idea. "Are you the manager? Name your price. Any amount of Heavenly Dao points, as long as you can fire Li Fei." The manager, thinking highly of Li Fei's work attitude, tried to persuade Yifeng, saying it's not good to fire someone without reason. Yifeng, unfazed, made a blunt offer, compensate him 10 times the amount. The manager was instantly convinced by Yifeng's generosity. "Young master, you have a keen eye. I always knew Li Fei was destined for greater things. He shouldn't be cooped up here." However, Li Fei didn't want the manager to profit from this situation and agreed to Yifeng's proposal. "I'll resign voluntarily. Can I just go back and cultivate?" This way, the manager missed out on the 10-fold compensation. Later, as they continued shopping, Li Fei asked Yifeng, "And who is this lady with you?" Yifeng introduced her. "She's my master, and also the sect master of the Star Soul sect." Luo Qianxue left them to catch up and went shopping by herself. Yifeng's system suddenly reminded him that even in Heavenly Dao City, purchases must be made in a wasteful manner, and any gifts must also be wastefully used, or there would be penalties. Yifeng wondered if he could earn wasteful points by squandering items bought in Heavenly Dao City. The system, with a human-like expression, replied that there would be no wasteful points, but one could enjoy the pleasure of wastefulness. Yifeng then asked Li Fei about fun places in Heavenly Dao City. Li Fei recommended several, including a foot massage parlor run by experts, a grand hotel served by powerful beings, and a place with a group of beautiful women for more intimate entertainment. Luo Qianxue, breathless from her shopping spree, returned having spent a vast amount amount of heavenly Tao points on 999 golden silkworm star shining stones. Complaining about the exorbitant prices, she mentioned that her 1 billion heavenly Tao points were almost depleted. Yifeng offered to carry the stones for her, saying, "Master, now that you've finished shopping, leave the rest to your disciple." Luo Qianxue was startled, wondering what wasteful idea Yifeng had in mind next. Without further ado, Yifeng handed over the star-shining stones to Li Fei, urging him to make good use of them. But Li Fei didn't know how to use these stones. Yifeng suggested building a small cottage with them. Although Luo Qianxue was a bit miffed, she didn't object since it was Yifeng's money being squandered. Li Fei, however, was reluctant to take the stones, worried about the sect's reaction. "If I bring these back to build a cottage, the sect members might kill me." Yifeng was undeterred, insisting, "You must build a palace-like hut with these. If you don't agree, I'll kill you right here and now." Yifeng, with a mischievous laugh, threatened Li Fei. Seeing this, Li Fei turned to Luo Qianxue, seeking her intervention. "Sect Master, aren't you going to do something about him?" Luo Qianxue sarcastically responded, "What authority do I have? Remember, I sold him his direct disciple status." Li Fei was speechless. "No wonder you two are master and disciple. One dares to buy, the other dares to sell. He's wasteful, and you're greedy. Neither of you is normal." Half an hour later, Luo Qianxue was feeling utterly blissful. They had visited a foot massage parlor, and it was her first time experiencing such a service. The feeling was incredibly relaxing. After enjoying the foot massage, Li Fei was elated. "I never imagined I'd get a massage from an ascended master in my lifetime. Is this the joy of being rich?" Luo Qianxue was also savoring the moment. "Since my reincarnation, I've always been focused on cultivation. I've never relaxed like this." Suddenly, Luo Qianxue noticed Yifeng was missing. She asked Li Fei where he went, and Li Fei replied, "He went to play with a claw machine." Yifeng, at that moment, was frantically trying to win a prize from the claw machine, thinking, "How can I not win with 10 billion heavenly Tao points spent?" But despite his efforts, he couldn't win anything. Li Fei came to tell him that their time with the heavenly Tao token was running out. Frustrated, Yifeng wondered why he couldn't win the North Black Doll, suspecting the machine was rigged. Then, they realized Li Fei had disappeared. Luo Qianxue thought he might have been transported away earlier. She curiously looked at the claw machine, and Yifeng encouraged her to try. Fascinated, Luo Qianxue said, "This looks fun. I want to play, but we're running out of time with the heavenly Tao token. Maybe next time." As they were about to be teleported away, Yifeng suggested they hold hands to avoid getting separated again. Luo Qianxue asked, "Will we be transported back to the original spot?" Yifeng wasn't sure. He was just excited about the prospect of holding his beautiful master's hand. However, he ended up being transported to a brothel, and despite holding hands, they were still separated upon arrival. Yifeng was immediately surrounded by the courtesans of the brothel. Unaccustomed to such situations, Yifeng quickly fled, only to bump into a familiar face outside, Elder Zhou Tong from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion, who was being scorned by the courtesans for not having any spirit stones. Zhou Tong, spotting Yifeng, joked, "I didn't expect to find a young friend here. It seems we share similar interests. How about lending me some spirit stones?" Yifeng, however, was not amused. "Who shares your interests? I ended up here by accident." As Yifeng was wondering how he ended up in Purple Phoenix City again, his second disciple, Yilingxue, arrived. Seeing Yifeng in such a place, she looked at him skeptically, especially when the courtesans at the brothel invited Yifeng to visit more often. Yifeng struggled to explain the situation, causing Yilingxue to disdainfully comment, "I never thought Master would be this kind of man." After Yifeng explained, Yilingxue understood the circumstances and expressed her surprise about the existence of the Heavenly Tao battlefield and the Heavenly Tao city. However, Yifeng was puzzled about why Zhou Tong was here. Zhou Tong, unable to reveal the truth to Yifeng, thought to himself, "I was harmed the last time I tried to divine the future, and he even knows I'm looking for the Holy Maiden. I can't let Yifeng know that I'm heading to the Star Soul sect to borrow the Heavenly Tear Furnace Cauldron." Despite Zhou Tong's reluctance, Yifeng persistently followed them. Zhou Tong, irritated, asked, "Young friend, isn't this a bit too much? Why are you following us everywhere?" Yifeng retorted, "How am I following you? Do you own the road? I should be the one asking why you're always in front of me." Zhou Tong, not wanting to argue further, took out a flying spiritual artifact and invited Yilingxue to join him. However, Yilingxue, wanting to spend more time with Yifeng, pretended to get airsick and refused to ride the flying artifact. Zhou Tong was baffled. "Airsick? You flew for 3 days last time without any issue." At this point, Yifeng suddenly asked, "Are you passing by the Star Soul sect? If so, give me a lift. That flying artifact looks big enough." Zhou Tong, surprised, asked, "Young friend, are you a member of the Star Soul sect?" Yifeng confidently replied, "Indeed, I am the direct disciple of the Star Soul sect's sect master." Hearing this, Yilingxue was thrilled at the opportunity to visit her master's sect. She said to Elder Zhou, "Since Yifeng is from the Star Soul sect, let's take him along. It might make our mission easier." Zhou Tong, now speechless, remarked, "Holy Maiden, you're not airsick anymore?" Yilingxue replied with a smile, "If it helps us borrow the Heavenly Tear Furnace Cauldron, I can overcome a little airsickness." Yifeng realized the purpose of their visit and casually remarked about the Heavenly Tear Furnace Cauldron. "So, you're here to borrow a Heavenly Tear Furnace Cauldron? There are plenty of those in the sect. I could even give one to Yilingxue. He reassured Elder Zhou. We know each other well enough. I'll take care of borrowing the furnace for you. Zhou Tong was thrilled, expressing his deep gratitude. That's wonderful, young friend. I owe you a big favor. If you ever need anything, just ask. A few hours later, the trio arrived at the Star Soul sect. The entrance, covered in cobwebs, left Yilingxue questioning. Is this really the sect master joined? Zhou Tong became alert, sensing the presence of several tribulation crossing realm experts inside. He couldn't reconcile the humble appearance of the sect with the presence of such powerful individuals. Before Zhou Tong could ponder further, a figure flew out from the gate, the great ancestral elder. He approached Yifeng, urgently requesting a heavenly tier furnace cauldron. Yifeng, Chu Hongshan, and Bai Gang were chasing me with a furnace each. It was humiliating. I need to retaliate. Zhou Tong was shocked. Aren't there only 4 heavenly tier furnace cauldrons in the entire mysterious heaven continent, and 3 of them are in the Star Soul sect, and using them to hit people? Isn't that a bit excessive? He wondered where Bai Gang got his furnace cauldron from. The great ancestral elder explained that Bai Gang had dismantled Yifeng's toilet, planning to return it after taking his revenge. Yilingxue looked up to Yifeng with admiration. Only master would use a heavenly tier furnace cauldron as a toilet. Truly unique. Elder Luo Kai and Little Blood then approached, holding their own furnaces, inviting the great ancestral elder for a grand melee. Zhou Tong was unable to maintain his composure any longer. What? More heavenly tier furnace cauldrons? Since when did the mysterious heaven continent have so many? Was my previous divination all wrong? Little Blood, noticing his master's return. Could it be that the master doesn't have a furnace anymore? In that case, great ancestral elder, you might as well take Wu Feng's. After all, he's just using it as a water tank. Zhou Tong was flabbergasted. Do you have more? Does the Star Soul sect mass-produce heavenly tier furnace cauldrons? He turned to Yifeng urgently, seeking clarification. Young friend, what's the situation here? Yifeng was taken aback by Zhou Tong's reaction. What situation? The elders are just looking for some fun. Without hesitation, Yifeng pulled out a heavenly tier furnace cauldron. Great ancestral elder, take this and join the fight. If you win, the furnace is yours. The great ancestral elder, energized by the challenge, swiftly took the cauldron and flew off, leaving a bold declaration. Yifeng, just watch me crush them. Zhou Tong, overwhelmed by the extravagance, lamented. Is everyone in this sect so wasteful? Doesn't the sect master of Star Soul sect manage them? At the battle scene, Elder Xiao seemed to have fallen first. Yifeng, upon arriving, teased. Elder Xiao, you went down too easily. Whose heavenly tier furnace cauldron was that? Did you borrow it from Wu Feng? Unbeknownst to him, Xiao Chen already owned a heavenly tier furnace cauldron. Meanwhile, Luo Qianxue quickly joined the chaotic fray of using heavenly tier furnace cauldrons as weapons. Zhou Tong, witnessing this, curiously asked, is that girl also from your sect? Yifeng replied with a smile. She's the sect master of our Star Soul sect. Zhou Tong was astounded. Remarkable. A sect master at the peak of the original spirit realm, attracting so many tribulation crossing realm experts. I wonder how she commands such respect. Yifeng then playfully suggested, Elder Zhou, why don't you join in for some fun? Zhou Tong, surprised, asked, you have more heavenly tier furnace cauldrons? Yifeng thought for a moment. There's one used as a doghouse. You can borrow that. Zhou Tong was flabbergasted. Even the dogs have one? I suddenly feel like my favors are so worthless. Meanwhile, the sect's grand competition in the secret realm concluded early, and Yifeng completed his task, earning 100,000 wasteful points and receiving 10 barrels of soul purifying water as a reward. Yifeng almost forgot about the soul purifying water, having not used his previous 100 drops. Now with an additional 10 barrels, his wasteful points totaled 940,000, enough for a breakthrough to the divine repository realm. Zhou Tong, considering the offer of a free heavenly tier furnace cauldron, decided to join the melee. Yifeng agreed. Wait a moment, I just need to make a quick breakthrough. I'll help you get the furnace cauldron later. Yifeng, after announcing his intent to break through, began his cultivation advancement right in front of Zhou Tong and Yilingxue. Zhou Tong was baffled. Shouldn't breakthroughs be done in a quiet place? However, he was soon taken aback as a powerful aura surged skywards, momentarily pausing the chaotic battle nearby. Luo Qianxue and the great ancestral elder were astonished. Is that spendthrift breaking through again? In a remarkably short time, Yifeng advanced to the 9th peak of the divine repository realm. After completing his breakthrough, he invited Zhou Tong to accompany him to retrieve the heavenly tier furnace cauldron. Yilingxue's admiration for Yifeng grew. No wonder the master thought my cultivation level was low at first. It turns out that making a breakthrough is so simple for the master. Meanwhile, Yifeng received a new task: to collect enough heavenly Dao tokens within a month to take everyone in the sect to heavenly Dao City for a foot massage, promising a significant reward of wasteful points. Yifeng, realizing the potential of the system, asked if it had any heavenly Dao tokens. Surprisingly, the system did possess tokens, but Yifeng needed to engage in wasteful behavior to have a chance of receiving them. Shortly after, the battle scene turned into a duel between Zhou Tong and the great ancestral elder. Yifeng, seizing the opportunity, checked on his disciple, Yilingxue, asking if she was well treated at the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. She assured him of her good treatment, especially mentioning Elder Zhou Tong's kindness. Yi Feng, with a mischievous grin, decided to reward Zhou Tong with a heavenly tear furnace cauldron for his care towards Yi Lingxue. The system, surprisingly generous, suggested giving 2 furnaces instead. Amazed at the system's generosity, Yi Feng told Yi Lingxue, "Since Elder Zhou has been good to you, as your teacher, I won't be stingy. Later, I will send him 2 heavenly tear furnace cauldrons. You can take them back and use them as you like." Yi Lingxue felt one would suffice. Just seeing such an intense brawl on the field, Yi Feng thought to himself, Zhou Tong is just short of a handy spiritual artifact. A heavenly tear furnace cauldron would be quite nice. Once the duel concluded, with Zhou Tong emerging victoriously, Yi Feng generously offered, "Don't bother borrowing a heavenly tear furnace cauldron. These 2 are yours now. Don't ask why, I just feel like it." He then presented 2 heavenly tear furnace cauldrons to Zhou Tong, who was completely stunned. Zhou Tong, overwhelmed by the gesture, humbly responded, "One is more than enough for our Heavenly Secrets Pavilion." "Young friend, you are too generous." Yi Lingxue clarified for Zhou Tong, "One of these heavenly tear furnace cauldrons is for your personal use as a weapon, and the other can be handed over to the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion." Zhou Tong, deeply touched by Yi Feng's gesture, bowed deeply. "Young friend, if there's ever anything I can do for you, just say the word." Yi Lingxue's imagination ran wild, thinking Yi Feng was strategically winning over Zhou Tong to eventually take over the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. Master is always thinking so far ahead, she thought admiringly. Yi Feng, having triggered another wasteful behavior, was rewarded with 100,000 wasteful points. He was pleasantly surprised that even these actions were yielding rewards, and noted that the wasteful points awarded after his breakthroughs were increasing. After receiving the heavenly tear furnace cauldrons, Zhou Tong and Yi Lingxue left on their flying spiritual artifact to report back. Meanwhile, Yi Feng listened to the elders discussing the recent battle. It turned out Zhou Tong won because the elders had given him a break, considering him a guest. The great ancestral elder and Bai Gang, however, had borne the brunt of the fight, proving that friends often hit each other the hardest. The great ancestral elder even suggested another round later on. Observing the swollen elders, Yi Feng saw another opportunity for wastefulness. He proposed to the system, "They're training hard to protect the sect. It wouldn't be excessive to give them tens of thousands of top-grade healing pills, right?" The system questioned whether the recent event was truly training or just fun, but Yi Feng insisted they were honing their combat skills. The system agreed and awarded 30,000 flame blood vitalizing pills, specifying that they had to be used up within a day. At this moment, old Xia pulled out a flame blood vitalizing pill and started showing off in front of everyone. "Everyone, look at what this is. This was once one of my treasured pills, but now it's nothing more than a snack to me," old Xia said with immense pride. "Io, after all, apart from Yi Feng, I'm the richest here. I just love seeing your beaten and bruised faces," he continued. However, in the next second, Luo Qianxue and Yi Feng appeared behind him. "So, old Xia, you seem to quite enjoy our miserable state," Yi Feng said with a sly smile. "It seems old Xia doesn't need my help," Yi Feng teased. Old Xia was a bit carried away and almost forgot that the sect master and Yi Feng were still there. Yi Feng asked the system, "Xia Tianyu has already consumed a pill and recovered. How should this be counted?" The system responded, "Ding, target locked. Precondition, beaten and bruised. Please host, continue with wasteful actions." Yi Feng knew what to do next. "Old Xia, you can't escape," he said. Following that, Little Blood and Luo Kai came with a furnace, attacking old Xia. "Old Xia, the master said you need pills. You asked for it, so let's give you a full experience." Old Xia was stunned. "What are you trying to do?" Then he was beaten up. A few minutes later, old Xia was thrown in front of Yi Feng, beaten up to look like a pig's head. Old Xia was utterly confused. "Why is this happening? I've already recovered." Yi Feng grinned and said, "Because you need to recover using my pills." Old Bai laughed. "Ha ha ha, old Xia, you really had it coming," but his laughter didn't last long. "Old Bai, you're also part of this," Yi Feng declared. Luo Qianxue then said, "Yi Feng, the taste of this pill isn't bad. Maybe we should keep it for the dog?" Old Bai quickly chimed in, "Yeah, you always dote on the dog, don't you?" Yi Feng also wanted to, but this time the system demanded that he provide pills for the injured ones. He couldn't indulge his dog in luxury. A storage ring appeared on his hand. "Master, I feel that your injuries have not yet healed. How can I give the elixirs to the dog? There are a total of 30,000 pills here. For the sake of your health, please finish them all before dawn." Luo Qianxue was stunned. 30,000 pills? To finish? That day, people recalled the fear dominated by elixirs. Luo Qianxue was numb. They shouldn't have started this big chaotic fight. The first iron rule of the sect. From now on, no more big chaotic fights are allowed. Whoever starts one will be expelled from the sect. Yi Feng then remembered his junior brother, Wu Feng. Speaking of which, what has Wu Feng been doing all day? I'll go check on him. Meanwhile, the forgotten Wu Feng was actually training in culinary skills. Yi Feng decisively went to find him. "Junior brother Wu Feng, you've just switched to being a chef. Are you getting used to it?" Wu Feng responded, "Big senior brother, I find the path of cooking much more interesting than that of elixirs. In the past, I needed others to supervise my cultivation, but now I can cook whatever dish I want." Yi Feng was surprised. "Could it be that you've discovered your exceptional talent in this area?" Wu Feng admitted it was true. Although the master only taught me for a short while. I got the hang of it right away. This has nothing to do with the culinary enlightenment fragment. It's purely talent. I thought you, big senior brother, were only good at squandering, but now I realize you've hidden your talents deeply. Even Old Bai said you have a unique vision and saw at a glance that I was cut out to be a chef. Yifeng was a bit embarrassed by the praise. I'm just squandering away. You're flattering me too much. At that moment, Chu Xiao Xiao also appeared. Junior brother Wu Feng, I've washed the vegetables. Yifeng was a bit surprised. How did you two end up together? Wu Feng awkwardly said. She's actually just greedy. Yifeng smiled mischievously. I see. In that case, junior brother, you'll have to work hard. Chu Xiao Xiao was startled. Why is Yifeng in the kitchen? Chu Xiao Xiao was quite wary of Yifeng, especially due to the guards backing him. The one-armed man had previously scared her, leaving a psychological impact. She feared that Yifeng might call upon the one-armed man on a whim. However, Yifeng casually mentioned, Chu Xiao Xiao, I almost forgot about you. In our sect, it seems like you're the only one without much to do. Chu Xiao Xiao, feeling speechless, said, I am the only inner door executive of the sect, overseeing the training of the 5 heavenly prides. Yifeng suggested she shouldn't bother with these trivial matters. While the senior brothers train hard every day, you seem quite free. How about you take up another task? You'll be responsible for making tea. He decided to hand over the soul-purifying water to her. Whether it's an elder or a disciple, anyone who wants to drink tea can come to you. Chu Xiao Xiao felt somewhat shy and overwhelmed, feeling like she had become a combination of a cook and a tea lady. Just as Yifeng brought out the soul-purifying water, burst through the roof of the house, startling Wu Feng and the others. Chu Xiao Xiao was dumbfounded. Yifeng, your huge barrel just wrecked my roof. How do you expect me to use this for brewing tea? What kind of water is this? Yifeng was also surprised. I didn't expect this barrel to be so big. He then instructed Chu Xiao Xiao, anyone can drink this water, but Elder Xiao must not, for fear he might ascend. Chu Xiao Xiao, puzzled, asked, what kind of strange reason is that? Besides brewing tea, what else can the water in this barrel be used for? Yifeng responded indifferently, do whatever you want with it. Meanwhile, not far from the Star Soul sect, Huang Xiaofei, his father Huang Dehai, and Old Meng were approaching. Huang Dehai advised them, we'll soon arrive at the Star Soul sect. Don't speak when we get there. I'll test the waters first. Curious about Yifeng's identity, Huang Dehai planned to offer a 50% profit share to the Star Soul sect for the blood ginseng pill. Upon their arrival, they noticed an increase in the aura of strong cultivators compared to their last visit. Old Meng was surprised, wondering if the Star Soul sect had recently acquired new powerful members. Seeing Huang Xiaofei and the others, Luo Qianxue instructed Elder Xiao to conceal his aura. It's Huang Xiaofei and his group. Elder Xiao, please hide your aura. They are guests of our Star Soul sect. Just as Old Meng was about to introduce their president, Huang Dehai, he was interrupted and quickly left, leaving behind a few words. Sect leader Luo, today we were just passing by. We will surely bring substantial gifts on our next visit, and we'll take our leave now. Xiao Chen, while munching on elixirs, was bewildered. Sect leader, what exactly did they come for? Old Meng asked in confusion. President, what's going on? Weren't we here to discuss the blood ginseng pill? Huang Dehai looked dejected. Discuss what? Did you not notice what they were eating? The 9-pattern 9-grade flame blood vitalizing pill, a single one of which is worth dozens of blood ginseng pills, and they were eating those by the thousands like they were candy. Facing a sect with such a foundation, even offering 10 years of profits wouldn't impress them. We need to think carefully about what we can offer as a genuine gesture of goodwill. At this point, Huang Dehai couldn't help think of the unseen Yifeng. It's terrifying, possessing so many 9-pattern elixirs. Not even the entire mysterious heaven continent could match this feat. Meanwhile, Elder Xiao, having eaten too many blood ginseng pills, was feeling very thirsty. When he smelled the rich aroma of tea, he followed it to Chu Xiao Xiao. Chu Xiao Xiao, this tea smells so strong. Quickly brew me a bowl. My mouth is dry and parched. However, Chu Xiao Xiao said, Elder Xiao, I'm sorry, but you can't drink this tea. Xiao Chen was puzzled. Why not? Is the tea not ready yet? Chu Xiao Xiao conveyed Yifeng's instructions. Yifeng said everyone in the sect can drink it, except for you. He fears you might ascend. Xiao Chen was startled. He fears I might ascend? He seemed to realize something, looking at the tea. I get it. This tea is brewed with soul-purifying water. No wonder Yifeng forbids me from drinking it. But such soul-purifying water is very rare. You shouldn't waste it. Chu Xiao Xiao then pointed to the barrel the size of a house behind her. Elder Xiao, are you sure this soul-purifying water is that rare? Xiao Chen was struck again by this revelation. He left, swaying slightly. It's okay. Continue making tea. I need to be alone for a while. As the sun set, Xiao Chen began to contemplate life. I regret it. I should never have joined this sect. Having my worldview shattered every day is too much. Suddenly, a familiar voice reached him. Xiao Chen, so you were hiding here. Xiao Chen immediately recognized the voice as that of his enemy, Ding Yi. True to his guess, Ding Yi appeared before him. Xiao Chen, I never expected you to actually escape from the soul-devouring Great Array. I'm truly surprised. And to think, the man once praised as the first handsome soul cultivator by women has now fallen to look like an old beggar. How ironic. Xiao Chen, you better run. I'll give you a chance. Xiao Chen, filled with hatred for his enemy, had no intention of fleeing. Ding Ding Yi, seeing this, threatened him using the Star Soul sect as leverage. I'll give you some time to run. After I've dealt with the sect that harbored you, I'll come looking for you. If I can't find you, I might let you go. This enraged Xiaochen, who unleashed a terrifying soul illusion behind him. Ding Yi, you've gone too far. Ding Yi hadn't expected Xiaochen to use his ultimate soul martial skill right off the bat. Hey, you start with your trump card? Do you really think I'm still the same person from 200 years ago? Ding Yi also displayed his immense soul, which was several times larger than Xiaochen's. Let's see how long your soul power can last. At this moment, the system alerted Yifeng that Xiaochen was fighting his enemy Ding Yi, but he was no match for Ding Yi. Yifeng was shocked. Huh, Ding Yi actually survived in the mysterious heaven continent for 200 years without ascending? Yifeng turned to Little Blood. Little Blood, let's leave the sect. We need to go rescue Elder Xiao. Little Blood was confused. Elder Xiao, a man close to ascending, is in danger. Outside the sect, the battle was intense. Xiaochen was being overwhelmingly dominated, quickly becoming breathless. Ding Yi remained arrogantly confident. Don't worry, I won't kill you easily. You've been sealed by the master for 200 years. You must have accumulated some trump cards. Bring them out and entertain me. Seeing the soul ball in Ding Yi's hand, Xiaochen mocked him. Competing with soul balls? You're actually proud of that tiny soul ball? Then, Xiaochen produced a super large soul ball given to him by Yifeng. Ding Yi was completely taken aback by the sight of the enormous soul ball. Impossible. This simply can't be. With your soul power, you can't refine a soul ball to such a terrifying degree. I don't believe it. Xiaochen sneered in response. Nothing's impossible. 200 years ago, I defeated you with my own strength. Today, I'll continue to outclass you, even with external help. I'm going to show you today that for you, a soul ball is a supplement, but for me, it's a tool of extravagance. Ding Yi was shocked and visibly intimidated by Xiaochen. Meanwhile, Yifeng and Little Blood had already arrived and were watching the battle like bystanders. Is this the way soul cultivators fight? It's indeed earth-shattering, almost putting me to sleep. Little Blood commented, this battle is indeed earth-shattering. Master, don't you see their soul energy? It turned out that Yifeng couldn't see their soul energy, only observing them swaying like demons and ghosts. From Little Blood's perspective, the battle between the soul illusions was truly awe-inspiring. However, ultimately, Elder Xiaochen was defeated, his strength now inferior to Ding Yi's. As Ding Yi prepared to deliver the killing blow to Xiaochen, Xiaochen panicked, facing death at the hands of his enemy. In the next moment, countless streams of soul energy descended upon Xiaochen. But before Ding Yi could celebrate his victory, he saw Xiaochen being rescued by Yifeng and Little Blood. Ding Yi wasn't concerned, taunting, Xiaochen, don't think you're safe just because you have reinforcements. Do you know why you're still alive? It's because my master intentionally spared you. He wants to know how you broke the soul-devouring Great Array. So, Xiaochen, I give you 1 minute. Regardless of whether you speak or not, I'll turn your rescuers into corpses. After all, I have 1,000 ways to make you talk. Yifeng coldly replied, oh, that broken formation? I destroyed its core. I saved the person. Do you have a problem with that? Ding Yi naturally didn't believe Yifeng. You, a little trash at the Divine Repository realm? You destroyed it. I'd like to see how you managed that. Yifeng pointed behind him. Your golden wheel is giving me a headache. Want me to destroy it like I did the formation's core? Ding Yi scoffed. My golden wheel can be destroyed by you? Show me if you can. As soon as Ding Yi finished speaking, the golden wheel behind him was shattered. Yifeng had already activated his destruction god eye, leaving Ding Yi completely dumbfounded. Just like that, it's gone. Xiaochen was so impressed that he spontaneously composed a poem. In youth, one does not know the fragility of the golden wheel. In old age, one weeps for the emptiness of cultivation. Indeed, with the golden wheel broken, Ding Yi's situation was worse than imagined. Not only had he lost his cultivation, but he was also seriously injured. No, this kid is too sinister. I must inform my master to take me back and recast the golden wheel. Xiaochen, in a panic, urged Yifeng. Yifeng, stop him quickly. He's going to call for reinforcements. Yifeng, however, remained calm. Elder Xiao, aren't you just afraid to ascend because of some so-called great emperor? Take this opportunity, and I'll put your mind at ease. Stay as an elder in the sect, and I'll take you to the upper realms to squander wealth. Shortly after, the space behind Ding Yi stirred, and the projection of the Golden Will Emperor appeared. Yifeng quietly summoned the system. System, let that one-armed maniac come out later. I want to see how strong this emperor's projection is. However, the system proposed a different plan. I have a better candidate who can pull the opponent's true form through the projection. You can decide how to deal with him based on your mood. Yifeng was surprised. Can it really be done? Is it an official guard? Meanwhile, the projection of the Golden Will Emperor, surrounded by several golden wheels, was quite imposing. Upon seeing his disciple, he was taken aback. Ding Yi, where's your golden wheel? Ding Yi, ashamed, knelt down. Master, I am incompetent. 200 years ago, I was beaten by someone, and now, my golden wheel has been destroyed. Hearing that someone had destroyed his disciple's golden wheel, the Golden Will Emperor was furious. Who dared to destroy my disciple's golden wheel? Yifeng inquired with the system about the Golden Will Emperor's strength compared to the boundless sanctuary. The system informed him, the Golden Will Emperor alone can penetrate the entire boundless sanctuary. Yifeng was even more shocked. Wow, I knew the Divine Tycoon's guard was strong, but this is too much. The system revealed more information. The upper realm is not not the end. Only the top-tier fighters in the highest realms pose some challenge to the official members of the Divine Tycoon's Guard. Each of your extravagant spending sprees has a chance to earn hidden rewards, which the system distributes to the reserve members of the Divine Tycoon's Guard. Thus, Yifeng's extravagant spending was actually a process of nurturing the Divine Tycoon's Guard. At that moment, Ding Yi, bolstered by the backing of the Golden Wheel Emperor, became emboldened again. Master, it was him who destroyed my Golden Wheel. I don't know how he did it. Moreover, it was this same person who rescued Xiao Chen. The Golden Wheel Emperor seemed indifferent. Mere ants. True or not, they shall be killed. As the Golden Wheel Emperor was about to make a move, Yi-Wan, a reserve member, suddenly appeared behind him. Ants? Who are you calling ants? Yi-Feng was somewhat exasperated. Again, you? Why is it always the same people? Besides the one-armed maniac, I haven't seen any other official guard members. In fact, Yi-Feng had forgotten that there had been a brief appearance of another official member previously, but it was so fleeting that he didn't notice. Yi-Feng expressed his dissatisfaction. What's going on here? You show up, stand there like a wooden post, and don't say anything? Where are your lines? Doesn't the guard have anything fresh to offer? The same two people, over and over, with the same old issues. Can't you be more creative? Couldn't you change your outfit or something? Maybe even add a bit of flair? Sensing Yi-Wan's unfathomable strength, the Golden Wheel Emperor panicked. You fool, what kind of existence have you provoked? Ding Yi was equally baffled. He had no idea who they were dealing with. While Yi-Wan was still respectfully addressing Yi-Feng, the Golden Wheel Emperor seized the opportunity to flee, disowning Ding Yi in the process. Don't rely on me anymore. From this moment on, our master-disciple bond is severed. Good luck on your own. Yi-Feng watched the scene, unimpressed. Go and bring the real Golden Wheel Emperor here. Are you blind? He's getting away. Yi-Wan realized the projection of the Golden Wheel had fled and immediately appeared behind it. My master wishes to see you. With that, he grabbed the projection of the Golden Wheel Emperor and simultaneously his hand appeared in the Golden Wheel Palace in the upper realm, grabbing the actual Golden Wheel Emperor. He then pulled the Emperor down through the projection. Yi-Wan turned to Yi-Feng. Master, what should be done with Ding Yi? Without hesitation, Yi-Feng replied, kill him. Yi-Wan swiftly executed Ding Yi, then turned to the Golden Wheel Emperor. My master, should this one be killed as well? The Golden Wheel Emperor, now in tears, pleaded, Great One, please. No, I am willing to compensate. Yi-Feng, not making a decision unilaterally, turned to Xiao Chen. Elder Xiao, he sealed you for 200 years and kept you from ascending. Do you want to kill him directly or enslave him for 200 years? You choose. Don't let this turn into a demon in your heart. The Golden Wheel Emperor listened, growing more and more panicked by the second. Xiao Chen was moved to tears. Young Master Yi, you rescued me from the soul-devouring Great Array and helped me break my inner demons. I can never repay this debt. From now on, my life is yours. Little Blood was also touched. Master, to exchange the life of a great emperor from the upper realm for the loyalty of an ascender from the lower realm, only you could make such an unconventional decision. But thinking about it, it's really lucky to be able to follow a master like you. Xiao Chen certainly didn't want to let the Golden Wheel Emperor off easily. Young Master Yi, don't let him off lightly. I want to enslave him for eternity. If I die, he must accompany me in death. Yi-Feng then asked Yi-Wan, draw up a contract for them. By the way, if they go to the upper realm, the contract won't be void, right? Yi-Wan replied, it'll have a slight impact, but it's not a major issue. Unless the Golden Wheel Emperor's strength surpasses mine, he won't be able to break the contract with Xiao Chen. After everything was settled, Yi-Wan returned to the Divine Tycoon's Guard. Yi-Feng curiously asked Xiao Chen, Elder Xiao, what's the extent of his strength now? Xiao Chen said, Young Master Yi, although his power is sealed, he could still easily defeat 100 of me. With the matter resolved, Yi-Feng prepared to return to the sect. The sect could use someone for odd jobs. Let's not tell everyone about the Golden Wheel Emperor's identity. Back at the dilapidated gate of the Star Soul sect, Luo Qianxue was full of doubts. Why would Elder Xiao leave the sect? And why did Yi-Feng leave with Little Blood? I have a bad feeling about this. However, before she could ponder further, she saw Yi-Feng and the others returning. Noticing an extra person, Luo Qianxue grew suspicious. There were only 3 people who left. But 4 have returned. My bad feeling was right. Yi-Feng approached Luo Qianxue. Master, what are you doing standing here? Luo Qianxue, looking annoyed, asked him, never mind why I'm standing here. Explain to me who that person is. The Golden Wheel Emperor, now in a completely new appearance and dressed as a menial worker, stood there. Yi-Feng, with a smile, said, oh, him. Speaking of him, Master, you should really praise me for this. Luo Qianxue looked at Yi-Feng with an expression of disbelief. Praise you? For what? Yi-Feng explained, look, our sect has disciples, executives, elders, but haven't you felt the lack of a sect servant? Luo Qianxue was speechless. With the elders already so idle, we still need a servant. We can't add more people. The sect already has enough members. And even for a servant, the minimum requirement should be the Tribulation Crossing Realm. The Golden Wheel was surprised. The minimum requirement for a servant is now the Tribulation Crossing Realm? Yi-Feng responded, Master, you're thinking too small. As the only servant of the sect, this Golden Wheel is a powerhouse who could ascend at any moment. That's the level our Star Soul sect should maintain. Luo Qianxue was dumbfounded. Aren't you worried about putting pressure on the other elders? The Golden Wheel, seizing the opportunity to make a good impression, thought to himself, this kid is so so scared of this girl. I must present myself well when she asks about my identity. However, before he could speak, Luo Qianxue pointed at him and asked, "Tell me, how much did it cost to abduct him back?" The Golden Wheel, confused, replied, "What? Do you often abduct people in your sect?" He then thought bitterly, "I wish I had been abducted. Unfortunately, I was captured and brought back from the upper realm." Wanting to ensure a smooth future in the sect, the Golden Wheel decided to present himself well to Luo Qianxue. "Sect leader, I wasn't abducted. The reason I joined the sect as a servant is..." Before he could finish, Luo Qianxue turned and walked away, uninterested in his story. "It's fine, you don't need to explain. All the elders in the sect are the same. If you want to be a servant, so be it." Yifeng, feeling tired, said, "I'm so sleepy. Elder Xiao, let the Golden Wheel stand guard for you tonight. I'll arrange his duties tomorrow. I'm going to rest." Then, Xiaochen and the Golden Wheel were left alone. "Golden Wheel Emperor, you probably never imagined being enslaved by me," Xiaochen mused. The Golden Wheel was panicked. "That was all in the past. I'll give you whatever you want." However, Xiaochen was unexpectedly grateful. "Don't worry, I won't be too harsh on you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have met young Master Yi, which has turned out to be a great opportunity for me. Do your job well, and if you perform satisfactorily, maybe I'll free you after a few hundred years of service." The Golden Wheel immediately knelt down in gratitude. "Thank you, Elder Xiao." He then followed Xiaochen to his courtyard. Upon seeing the opulent golden decor and realizing the house was built from the rare Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree, Golden Wheel couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. "Damn, you're so audacious, you're using a 9,000-year-old Golden Soul Holy Spirit tree to build a house. What was my damn disciple even fighting for back then?" Meanwhile, back in the Heaven Fire Realm at the Dark Flame Sect, Li Fei had returned. Sect leader Sun Tianyu and great ancestral elder Wang Qingshan looked at him fiercely. "You dare to return, and with such arrogance. Do you need another lesson?" Sun Tianyu was determined to teach Li Fei a lesson, but just as he was about to make a move, Li Fei calmly stated, "I have advanced my death sword intent to the Sword Heart Realm." In the next moment, great ancestral elder Wang Qingshan arrived between the two and firmly gave Sun Tianyu a slap to stop him, exclaiming, "With me here, try laying a finger on him. How dare you harm such a talented sword cultivator of our sect?" Sun Tianyu felt wronged, but was unable to retort. Then, Wang Qingshan noticed something astonishing. He saw Li Fei pulling out a huge pile of golden silkworm star shining stones, leaving him utterly dumbfounded. "Li Fei, where did you get so many star shining stones?" Li Fei responded with a smile, "Master, great ancestral elder, what do you think about using these golden silkworm star shining stones to build a thatched hut?" Both were left speechless. Subsequently, they started a deathly glare at Li Fei. Overwhelmed, Li Fei exclaimed, "Master, great ancestral elder, I have broken through to the Sword Heart Realm." Following this revelation, Li Fei was once again beaten up by the two, not only being left in a terrible state, but also nearly losing his life. The next day, Yifeng's wasteful expenditure was refreshed again, this time with the seemingly useless mind-calming incense, which he no longer valued. He called over great ancestral elder and elder by gang, both rushing over eagerly. Yifeng then inquired with the system, does giving these 500 mind-calming incense sticks to great ancestral elder, who is experiencing a beggar-like life, count as wasteful behavior?" The system confirmed, "Yes, ding. It is determined that Luo Qianxing's mindset is truly that of a beggar, so giving mind-calming incense to a beggar counts as wasteful behavior." Thus, great ancestral elder, equipped with a professional mindset and outfit, received the mind-calming incense reward. Elder by gang, who was a step too slow, was left infuriated. Yifeng, witnessing this, didn't know what to say, feeling that the morals of the situation were somewhat skewed. By gang, unable to receive anything from Yifeng, decided to try his luck with Xiaochen. Then, he encountered the figure of Golden Wheel and asked in surprise, "Who are you?" Golden Wheel introduced himself. "I am Golden Wheel. I just joined the sect yesterday evening as a servant." By gang didn't find this odd and remarked, "A servant? Right, a sect without even a single servant would indeed be shameful. What's your strength?" Golden Wheel replied, "I am at the stage where I could ascend at any moment." It was unclear whether By gang hadn't processed the information or if his mindset had really changed, but he simply thought of it as nothing more than an ascendant being. Some ascendants can be elders, while others only servants. It seems Yifeng doesn't value strength alone, so that's reassuring. Golden Will was frustrated, feeling belittled by the look in the other's eyes. He also found the people of the sect peculiar. Despite his prestigious status, he couldn't even mention it and had to carry on with menial tasks. While cleaning the sect's grand hall, he stumbled upon familiar techniques, the Boundless Mystic Spirit Array and Boundless Mystic Purification Technique, the same methods practiced by Luo Qianxue. This revelation led Golden Wheel to realize that the sect leader's identity was extraordinary. This technique is only accessible to the Holy Master of the Boundless Sanctuary and their successors. Could it be that the sect leader is a reincarnated Holy Maiden? This is significant information, Golden Wheel pondered. Then, Yifeng entered, causing Golden Wheel to feel apprehensive, thinking, nothing good happens with this guy around. Yifeng was there to notify his beautiful master. "Master, I'm taking junior brother Wufeng out for training." Wufeng seemed resigned. "Brother, my grandfather called me to Heavenly Elixir City. Why are you more excited than me?" Yifeng explained, "After all, I persuaded you to switch to cooking. I have to explain it to your grandfather. Luo Qianxue, interrupting her cultivation in annoyance, said, "You can go, but the number of people who leave must be the same as those who return. Don't bring anyone else back this time." Yifeng agreed. "Okay, I understand. I'll just bring little blood with us." Yet, his assurance seemed dubious. Later, they borrowed Elder Xiao Chen's flying spiritual artifact to head to Heavenly Elixir City. Yifeng's keen interest stemmed from a system task he received to participate in an alchemy competition in Heavenly Elixir City. Merely participating would grant him a reward of 1 million points for wasteful spending, an opportunity Yifeng wouldn't miss. Thus, Yifeng and his companions, including Little Blood, were quickly approaching Heavenly Elixir City after a few hours of travel. Yifeng couldn't help but remark, a 9th grade spiritual artifact really is fast. Shortly after, they arrived above Heavenly Elixir City, with the towering Heavenly Elixir Pavilion standing prominently in the center. After landing, Yifeng asked Wufeng to first visit his grandfather, while he had other matters to attend to. He planned to register for the alchemy competition at the Heavenly Elixir Pavilion with Little Blood. However, Yifeng soon found himself in a dilemma. To enroll in the alchemy competition, he first had to pass a preliminary assessment. The enthusiastic examiner, Cheng Hai, warmly invited Yifeng to participate in the assessment. Yifeng, bewildered, thought to himself, "I don't know how to refine elixirs. How am I supposed to pass any assessment?" Cheng Hai tried to reassure him, "Don't be nervous. Just refine elixirs as you normally do and show your standard skills. Now, please begin your performance." At this moment, the system issued a new task. If the host uses spiritual grasp provided by the system for the assessment, a reward of 500,000 wasteful spending points will be granted. Yifeng was surprised by the system's generosity, seeing the task as virtually a giveaway. Since the system encouraged him to refine, he decided to give it a try. He then informed Cheng Hai, "Please wait a moment, examiner. I need to use my own furnace." Smiling at Little Blood, Yifeng said, "Little Blood, please bring over my furnace." Little Blood produced a heavenly tier furnace, causing Cheng Hai to ponder if Yifeng was the disciple of a powerful alchemist, especially given Little Blood's ability to withstand 2 heavenly Dao thunder tribulations. Meanwhile, Little Blood, feeling sorry for the furnace, whispered to it, "Just for a little while, please endure." Cheng Hai was bewildered. Is she talking to the heavenly tier furnace? And what has this powerful demon done with it? Why are there scratches all over it? Suddenly, Little Blood pleaded with Yifeng, "Master, can we not use it? Whenever you refine with it, I feel like it gets dirty." Yifeng, pulling her away from the furnace, replied, "Little Blood, I know this furnace is convenient for you to wield, but I don't have a spare one right now." Little Blood suggested, "Master, don't you also have the 9 dragons burning sky cauldron? That's for barbecuing, not for refining elixirs. Please leave for now, so you don't disturb my assessment." Thus, Little Blood was reluctantly separated from her beloved furnace. Cheng Hai, overhearing their conversation, was baffled. What an odd master-servant duo. Are they really using a heavenly tier furnace like this? Well, let's just focus on the alchemy. As Cheng Hai signaled the start of the assessment with a drumbeat, Yifeng began haphazardly adding ingredients, completely ignoring Cheng Hai's guidance on proportions. Cheng Hai, resigned, thought, "It's okay. This is just the first step. The second step is..." Yifeng continued adding materials non-stop, excitedly commenting on the unusual greenish hue of the flames. Cheng Hai, feeling overwhelmed, pleaded, "Stop adding more." But it was too late. The furnace exploded within 3 seconds. Despite the failure, Yifeng was thrilled to complete the task and earn 500,000 wasteful spending points. To his delight, surprisingly, this task could be repeated indefinitely until Cheng Hai declared the assessment was over. Yifeng grinned at Cheng Hai, "Examiner Chen, I was a bit nervous just now. I failed this time, but I'd like to try again." Cheng Hai, giving him another chance, advised, "This time, please refine properly and avoid exploding the furnace. Your furnace and spiritual grass are rare treasures." Yifeng once again recklessly added herbs. Cheng Hai, at a loss for words, could only think, what a wasteful spender. Predictably, the furnace exploded again in a spectacular fashion. A bit sheepish, Yifeng said to Cheng Hai, "I'm sure I can succeed. Please, let me try one more time." Cheng Hai was so exasperated that he almost cried. "No need to try again. Your exquisite alchemy skills have been acknowledged. Let's wait for tomorrow's big alchemy competition," he said, trying to end the fiasco. Yifeng, somewhat disappointed, had hoped to earn more wasteful spending points, but Cheng Hai had already left in a hurry. With just 2 attempts, he had managed to earn 1,000,000 wasteful spending points. Little Blood, sympathetically holding the furnace, lamented, "Poor little furnace, you've suffered so much." Meanwhile, in a guest room of an inn, Wufeng was showing off his heavenly tier furnace to his grandfather, Len Jiulong. Shocked by the sight of the furnace, Len Jiulong asked, "This is a heavenly tier furnace, Wufeng, but what's with the water inside?" Wufeng calmly explained, "I guess I didn't empty it properly. I was using it as a water tank before." Len Jiulong was stunned. "What did you say?" he thundered. "Wufeng, you've changed. How long have you been in that sect? And you've become so arrogant, using a heavenly tier furnace as a water tank? Where did you get such audacity?" Wufeng, shaking his head in resignation, said, "Grandpa, calm down. I've switched to the culinary arts now. This furnace is a gift we're preparing for you." Upon hearing it was a gift for him, Len Jiulong's anger dissipated instantly. point, and he switched gears dramatically. Wufeng, though you've become arrogant, your filial piety remains, and that makes me very happy. I once saw a heavenly tier furnace too, but it disappeared along with Xiaochen, that old immortal. That was 200 years ago, and I really coveted it. Wufeng, surprised, asked, Grandpa, the Xiaochen you're talking about, is he a soul cultivator? Lin Jiulong was startled. How do you know? Wufeng confirmed, that's right. Elder Xiaochen is now an elder of our Star Soul sect. Lin Jiulong, somewhat amazed, wondered, what magic does Luo Wuming's daughter's little sect possess to even lure Xiaochen over? Wufeng looked curious. Grandpa, you're not thinking of joining the Star Soul sect as an elder, are you? The sect is no longer short of people. Even the second ascended powerhouse can only serve as a servant there. Lin Jiulong responded, I wouldn't go. Strong individuals also have their own dignity. At that moment, Qinghai burst in, loudly exclaiming, Old Len, there's big news. Before he could elaborate, he noticed the grown-up Wufeng. A few minutes later, Lin Jiulong was also informed about the alchemy assessment chaos at the Heavenly Elixir Pavilion. This is outrageous. How can someone be so wasteful? And how are there over a dozen heavenly tier furnaces in the mysterious heaven continent? Lin Jiulong remarked in disbelief. Qinghai and Wufeng both insisted they were telling the truth. Meanwhile, Yifeng arrived at the scene. I didn't expect such a lively gathering. Examiner Cheng, nice to see you again. Only then did Qinghai realize that Yifeng was Wufeng's senior brother. Yifeng was surprised to find out that the manager of the Heavenly Elixir Pavilion was an acquaintance. Considering this, he discreetly asked the system, would it be too much to give a heavenly tier furnace to Qinghai for favoring me? The system judged the act as a gift for gaining an unfair advantage, fitting the criteria for wasteful behavior. Yifeng cheerfully presented the heavenly tier furnace to Qinghai. Examiner Cheng, since you let me pass the assessment, I want to show my gratitude. This furnace is for you. Qinghai, grinning widely, replied, Ah, young Master Yi, you are too kind. I'm really undeserving of this. However, he didn't forget to reach out and accept the furnace. Lin Jiulong, dumbfounded, commented, you two are blatantly pulling strings right in front of me. Is this really okay? Qinghai, you've completely tarnished the reputation of the Heavenly Elixir Pavilion. Through this act, Yifeng triggered a wasteful behavior, earning himself an additional 100,000 wasteful spending points. Yifeng laughed heartily, then casually slung an arm around Qinghai's shoulder. You know, Examiner Cheng, if you had let me try a few more times, I would have gifted you a furnace with a cauldron spirit. Qinghai thought he was joking. Young Master Yi really has a sense of humor. Artifact spirits, those don't exist in the lower realms. Lin Jiulong, eavesdropping, was also skeptical. Artifact spirit? Nonsense, just more tall tales. Wufeng, however, decided to prove them wrong and pulled out some knives, demonstrating its capabilities. Grandpa, everything my senior brother says is true. Let me show you. Lin Jiulong was astounded by the array of culinary tools around Wufeng, especially the dragon spirit. This is a dragon spirit? Wufeng, what's going on here? Hours later, Yifeng checked his wasteful spending for the day. Today's extravagant item was a barrel of myriad herbs elixir liquid, a special brew made from 10,000 types of spiritual grass, sealed for 10,000 years. Just one sip would make anyone addicted to it, rendering all other drinks tasteless. Meanwhile, Lin Jiulong had given up resisting the bizarre situations and joined his grandson Wufeng in soaking their feet in a 9-leaf soul-returning herb solution. As they laughed and chatted, Little Blood brought a new foot bath solution. Wufeng, Master asked me to bring this foot soak for you and old Len. Wufeng, a bit shy at the sight of Little Blood in her swimsuit, asked, this is foot soak water? Why does it smell like wine? The aroma was so enticing that they both considered drinking it. Just as Wufeng was about to give in, Little Blood warned, remember, this is only for soaking your feet. You must not taste it, or else you'll find no other drink satisfying. As Wufeng struggled to resist, Lin Jiulong slapped him across the face. Wufeng, you absolutely can't drink this. Didn't you hear it's an order from Yifeng? I recognize it now. This is the myriad herbs elixir liquid. After drinking it, no other drink will do. Wufeng, confused, asked, is it really that bad? Little Blood confirmed, yes, it is. Reluctantly, the grandfather and grandson duo used it only for soaking their feet. This luxurious experience made Lin Jiulong consider becoming an elder at the Star Soul sect. Wufeng advised him against it. Nowadays, the Star Soul sect has more elders than disciples. They're only taking servants, and it's up to my senior brother whether or not they're accepted. Lin Jiulong perked up at this. I see. Wufeng looked puzzled. Grandpa, what do you understand now? Lin Jiulong suddenly stood up with determination. Tomorrow, no matter which level of the alchemy competition Yifeng participates in, he will be the first. That's my declaration. Wufeng, taken aback, protested, Grandpa, that's cheating. You were just criticizing Qinghai for losing face. The next morning, Yifeng woke up feeling refreshed. That wine bath yesterday was really comfortable, and to think it even rewarded me with 10,000 jars of myriad herbs elixir liquid. I should try drinking a jar when I have time. He then checked today's wasteful spending item, which was a divine elixir refining card. It granted the ability to refine a divine elixir within 24 hours, with the elixir's grade and type being random. Yifeng had another extravagant idea. System, what if I refine a divine elixir and then crush it in front of everyone? Would that count as wasteful behavior? The system confirmed that it would indeed he'd be wasteful, adding that if he did so, he would receive an additional 1 million wasteful spending points. Yifeng was thrilled. This is fantastic. For an extra million wasteful spending points, I guess I'll have to offend some alchemists. At that moment, Wufeng urged him, "Senior brother, it's time to go to the alchemy competition. Grandpa has reserved a spot for you in every level of the contest." Subsequently, Wufeng hurriedly took Yifeng to the venue. It wasn't long before they arrived at the central square of Heavenly Elixir City, where the atmosphere was already buzzing with excitement. Yifeng immediately took out his Divine Elixir refining card and used it, successfully activating it. The Tribulation Breaking Pill. Reading the description of the Tribulation Breaking Pill, Yifeng learned that consuming it allows one to ignore a Heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation. It's suitable for cultivators who have survived at least one Heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation, particularly if a cultivator who has endured 8 Heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulations consumes it, they can ascend directly. Yifeng was utterly astounded. It's an elixir capable of contending with the Heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation, he thought. If all members of the sect consume a few, ascending would be as easy as child's play. System, can this 10-pattern tribulation breaking pill be produced in the elixir jar? The system responded affirmatively, though it noted that the chances of success would be low. That's fine. As long as it's possible, that's enough. With the infusion of the tribulation breaking pill refining card, Yifeng naturally mastered the elixir-making techniques and fire control details, as if he had refined it countless times before. Possessing such a divine pill, Yifeng naturally headed to the 9th grade alchemist competition area. Surprisingly, there were few participants, only 3 9th grade alchemists. According to his understanding along the way, there were less than 100 6th grade alchemists, less than 30 7th grade, and just over 10 8th grade. The 3 alchemists turned their gaze towards Yifeng. Who is that kid? Not wearing an alchemist robe is one thing, but why is he in the 9th grade area? However, an elder with flowing hair had a different opinion. "No, that's not right," he exclaimed. The bald one asked what was the matter, to which the elder with flowing hair replied, "This person is an old monster who has maintained a youthful appearance, but lived for who knows how long. Haven't you noticed that old Len has been staring this way the whole time?" Len Jiolong was indeed intently focused on the 9th grade competition area, leading the 3 to believe that Yifeng must be an old monster concealing his age. Yifeng was somewhat confused. "Why do I feel like my reputation is being unjustly tarnished? I haven't done anything yet." At this moment, Qinghai rang the bell to signal the start of the competition. The contestants had 3 incense sticks worth of time to complete their tasks. Yifeng decided to finish quickly so he could return to sleep. The audience was left speechless by the flame Yifeng summoned. "Lifebound heart flame," they exclaimed in awe. While everyone expected the atmosphere to heat up, Yifeng simply pulled out a large amount of spiritual grass and other medicinal ingredients. Relying on the temporary memory he had obtained, he threw the required ingredients for the tribulation-breaking pill into the alchemy furnace. Len Jiolong was bewildered. What is he doing? I thought the atmosphere would heat up. Not to mention his incredible lifebound heart flame. Some of the spiritual grass he's using, I've never even seen before. What elixir is he trying to make? The 3 9th grade alchemists were dumbfounded. Is this even considered alchemy? He seems to be using the spiritual grass as firewood. I thought I could learn something from him, but it seems I was mistaken. However, in the next moment, Yifeng's alchemy process unexpectedly attracted a heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation. Len Jiolong, utterly shocked, realized it's an elixir tribulation. The crowd was astonished to witness the heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation filling the sky. This is an elixir tribulation. As legends say, when a divine elixir is formed, the elixir tribulation descends. Qinghai was moved to tears. I never thought I'd see a divine elixir being successfully refined in my lifetime. Among the countless alchemists over thousands of years, none have produced a divine elixir. Today, I am fortunate to witness the emergence of a divine elixir. What an honor! As the refining process continued, Yifeng intensified the fire. Soon, with a sound from the alchemy furnace, Yifeng's divine elixir was completed. Staring at the round and lustrous pill in the furnace, Len Jiolong was astounded. Is that a 10-pattern pill? Someone in the crowd was puzzled. What's going on? Where's the heavenly thunder? My heart is in my throat. Has the divine elixir been successfully made or not? Yifeng also found it strange. He had followed the refining steps correctly, yet the elixir tribulation had not descended. Little Blood also noticed something odd about the heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation clouds and suggested Yifeng step back from the divine elixir to see what would happen. It turned out that the heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation clouds were intimidated by Yifeng, as they had been dispersed by his powerful subordinates in the past. They dared not unleash their thunder in Yifeng's presence. Yifeng was speechless, finding the cautious nature of the heavenly Tao somewhat absurd. Sure enough, as soon as he distanced himself, the heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation dared to descend. After undergoing the baptism of the heavenly Tao Thunder Tribulation, the divine elixir was finally perfected. The many alchemists present were moved to tears, feeling fortunate to have witnessed the appearance of a divine elixir. They felt that even if they died at that moment, they would have no regrets. Qinghai proclaimed loudly, Yifeng is not some wastrel. He is a god in the hearts of all alchemists. Wufeng, witnessing this scene, had a bad premonition. My wasteful senior brother is likely to perform another astonishing act of wastefulness wastefulness, he thought. At this point, everyone revered Yifeng as the elixir god, and Yifeng decided to enact the extravagant plan he had already conceived. He threw the elixir on the ground, leaving everyone baffled. Why would the elixir god throw the divine elixir to the ground? A sense of discomfort began to rise in their hearts. Wait, he suddenly lifted his foot. What was he going to do? Resolutely, Yifeng lifted his right foot, and, amidst the cries of no from the crowd, he did not hesitate to step on the divine elixir. With a crack, the pill shattered. The divine elixir was thus crushed by Yifeng, completing his task of extravagant spending with a reward of 2 million extravagant points. Meanwhile, the 3 enraged 9th rank alchemists behind him all wanted to teach Yifeng a lesson, even contemplating killing him. This is a divine pill, but Yifeng remained nonchalant, saying, there are too few people cursing. The momentum isn't enough. The quantity of divine pills destroyed is too few. Even the system was speechless, remarking, there are 100,000 people here. How is that few? Suddenly, Len Jiulong spoke up. Silence. Do you know what it means to break and then establish? A life too fixated on pursuing divine pills will only turn them into shackles. At the moment of the pill's destruction, I realized humans can make and destroy divine pills. What we pursue is the supreme path of alchemy, not satisfaction with a single divine pill. Yifeng was speechless. Where do all these principles come from? I'm just purely squandering. Everyone was shocked and then knelt before Yifeng, exclaiming, Master, we've also realized it. We'll remember today's grace forever. Yifeng was astonished, muttering, this old Len really knows how to talk nonsense. Even squandering can be twisted into helping others realize the truth. When he turned to look at old Len, he found that not only had Len realized the truth, but he was also about to ascend. Len Jiulong himself didn't expect that today would be his day of ascension, but once enlightened, he could not suppress it. He instructed Qinghai, tell those old fellows, I'll ascend first. If fate allows, we'll meet in the higher realm. Qinghai was reluctant, but had to agree tearfully. Then came the moment of farewell between grandfather and grandson. Wu Feng was even more reluctant to part with his grandfather ascending. Len Jiulong told him not to cry, saying, I'm not dying. Why cry? It's time for me to ascend to the higher realm now that I've seen through the obsession with divine pills. Your senior brother is quite extraordinary. Stay close to him. Yifeng curiously watched the ascension process unfold. Then, a stairway to heaven appeared amid cheers, and Len Jiulong embarked on his journey up the stairway. Yifeng handed him a storage ring, advising, don't use the items inside until it's crucial. They could save your life. Len Jiulong glanced at it, finding the 100 herbs elixir liquid inside, and thanked young Master Yi. Thus, Len Jiulong ascended on the stairway to the higher realm. Meanwhile, Wu Feng returned to his carefree demeanor, even sniffing the remnants of the divine pill, wondering if it still had any effect. Indeed, everyone else thought the same, vying for the remnants, especially after seeing some stuck to Yifeng's foot, revealing sly smiles. Feeling a chill down his spine, Yifeng promptly decided to flee with little blood.